Yo! Yo! Let's go! What's going on, everybody? We're back at it again with some more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Ooh. Let me test something. Alright, we're good. Cool. Ew! Let me think. Last time we did that one thing, we figured out about the whole curse and how it was, in fact, that one dude who murdered a bunch of people. It was kind of funny. And then we got, like, I think there was, like, a treasure at the end that we looked at that had blood on it that fucking Airlock Sholmes didn't want us to know about. That's pretty cool. And so now we're on episode 3. I think it was The Great Departed. The Great Departed Soul. The Return of the Great Departed Soul. It's pretty cool. We're excited. This is happening. That last episode felt like it lasted like a lifetime. Like fucking hell.
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Airlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Pelgers?
The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
What?
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
You're making a fucking teleporter? Doesn't this take place in, like, 17th century Britain? Why the fuck does the guy have this?
Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
Wow, that doesn't sound like it's dangerous at all.
In but a few moments from now, these gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
This one! Yes! Whoa!
This guy's a little too excited.
Yes! Please! That's not what I wanted!
Wow, who would have saw that coming? Whoa. Literally fucking everyone from a mile away, because this is bullshit. Bro was trying to teleport people. And then...
Bruno! Bruno, are you listening?
Oh, sorry, what was that, Iris?
What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast?
No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about?
Today's paper! It's full of news about the great exhibition again.
Oh, yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime.
You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Harley?
Did you say something, Iris?
Oh gosh, you're even more down.
When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for half an hour already. We had breakfast together. How did you not notice me here? What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast. Iris is quite right. You're certainly lacking in vim. So much that I didn't even notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning, with all its unruly spikes. Clearly, it can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you right there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut of such, I suppose. Thanks again. Crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now.
6 months?
Since I was forbidden from working in court. Yeah. Ever since the great train fiasco. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned.
Oh, well, that would explain why you're rather glum. Don't you agree, Harley?
Did you say something, Iris? Back to moping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me.
I know! The great exhibition has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go and see together?
I want to, of course. I almost dropped my water. Of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective, after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from. Is that it?
I don't remember hearing you're working on a case, Harley.
I suppose I should try and find out what's going on. Might as well do everything. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at a Bill Bailey. Time to skip all this because this is all shit we already know. I'm just gonna skip all this. Alright, we're just gonna skip that because it's just lore we already know. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science in the most modern technology, the final works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching.
Do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons.
Look down on? Do you mean those things? Fly?
Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air.
But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it all.
That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge.
I suppose they might be.
Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are.
Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page on this paper carries some article, or rather about the great exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the brighter things shine, the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphor? Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? You fuck. What is that? The Reaper attacked. So many glowing reports of about the exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what?
What's the matter, Bruno?
The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zykes. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? So, the ruffian aims to intimidate a man of justice. Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't tell if it was saying, like, someone attacked him or he attacked. Like, the Reaper had attacked the courthouse, the Old Bailey. He lit that fucker on fire. Well, that's crazy. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening.
You're acting very strange, Harley.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Harley's mood. Is it really a case that bothers you?
Iris, please! You mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that. Do you? You. Mr. Sharps. Never mind. Once I've had my cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. It says on the paper that Lord Van Sykes was attacked. That's terrible! You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Barrick Von Sykes. They say if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever is in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find a way around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Narrator? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among the fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really? The capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you... Lord Van Sykes has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Sykes hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know?
Well, in the article here it says, as to one of Lord Van Sykes and his condition, will be revealed in tomorrow morning's edition.
Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody without in renown. But who? Lord Strongheart, maybe? Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind. But now I'm wondering where you're going. Ha 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 ha! Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door.
Alright then, Bruno, let's get going.
Oh, Iris, what are you wearing?
I got change to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me.
What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then.
Put the gun down, Iris. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you?
Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to the Great Exhibition.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's go to the Supreme Court. What should I make for breakfast tomorrow, Bruno?
You know what this guy reminds me of? It reminds me of the dude from the final case of the first fucking Phoenix Wright game. I don't remember what his fucking name was. He was the big, like, tan dude. That was like the chief of police or whatever. I don't remember. He's crazy. That's what this room reminds me of. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change. Like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. What are you doing? It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there.
Oh, I love this place. I would find so many interesting books here.
Of course. I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato-san was given the news that she was going to return to Japan. Ah, I understand you want to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived here and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around, staring into space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Mael Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand its preeminent status. As you will be aware, the great exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, leasing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crimes, and furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the Internal Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're hosting the nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course. I can very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind, as it happens.
Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it.
I see you brought the child. Why? I actually came here to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you're a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, it's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on a study tour, not me. Should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident didn't happen, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Professor Sogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say. Has it ever occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which the young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you! Thank you so much!
That's wonderful news, Bruno.
In fact, I believe I have a perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course! Please tell me more. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. The last case he wanted me to do, it was for that one guy, and he murdered someone. Fucking Magnus McGinnis. And he murdered a man, so... Oh, good lord. He described it as a curious affair? Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, no.
Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis. How fake? Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of a finger? That's right! It's just what the herbal blends need. A dash of devil-may-care. Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage and a man lost his life. A certain Odie Asman, an investor, and a well-known figure in society. A large explosion? A man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harrybrain? His name is Albert Harrybrain? Or Halbert Hairbrain? Really? He was detained immediately after the incident, and is due to appear in court tomorrow on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take his defense, you should hurry and meet with him at the prison. And there is very little time for you to carry out any of the investigation. Great exhibition? A scientific experiment gone wrong and murdered? I feel out of my depth before I even started. Still. We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think? Definitely. Ah, yes. One more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh. Lord Van Sykes? How? If it was an accident, wouldn't that be manslaughter, not murder? Murder has to do with intent. This was an accident. Unless there's something I don't know. All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to concede with the Great Exhibition.
And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. Oh, goodness gracious, I can't fucking stop yawning. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Let me go turn on my lights and get out. Check myself. Skelly should wake up. Honestly, bro, I think I woke up like a lot earlier than normal. That's because I had I don't even remember what it was. I had a fucking dream. I don't remember entirely what it was about. I think there was like a woman who was like using a lightsaber or some shit, and she like said she could do something if she like jabbed the saber into her skull or something like that. And then I tried to stop her from doing that, and she instead split my skull in half. And that's when I woke up, because all I heard was like I could like hear it going into my brain. It was kind of cool, actually. And it fucking woke me up. It's pretty cool. I actually felt it too. Like afterwards, my head started fucking hurting. And my ears were ringing, and I couldn't see straight for like a solid minute. Anyways. Anyways, back to the game. I can't stop! Ow! Exactly.
Oh!
London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly! The future of policing.
Ah!
Why do you keep getting shocked by that? Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming!
Oh.
If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the number of crimes committed and resolved in London will be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you earlier, I shall detail everyone now.
What? Oh, how fascinating.
It all began 15 years ago. I was... And that, more or less, sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right. Yes, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it would be. she got bored. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? Reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need to concern. Lord Van Zykes would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does. Strangely. Fortunately, Lord Van Zykes emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He is a capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Well, ugh. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zykes. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt some large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question made a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchman certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Asmund. Mr. Odie Asmund. Did you say Asmund? Like, Asmund? Oh. That's the guy who died in the... Oh, that was him? Interesting. Did you say Asmund?
That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Experiment.
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder. Could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zykes as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off from court then meet the mysterious ends outside the courtroom. And fearful of that, they seek to strike Lord Van Zykes first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zykes work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. That doesn't make any sense. How can you explain the way so many died if not by someone's hand? Van Zykes may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he's no killer. So, he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours? Late? That's quite something. The hell was that? Thought I heard a loud banging outside. Going crazy. It is almost the 4th of July. So, maybe it's, I don't know. 11 hours late? That's quite something. The meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped me for those. Stopped me during those 12 solid arguments and 123 reasons. Oh, yes! Where would I find Lord Van Zykes now? I would assume he's at his office. Right. I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. Amazing. Alright, let's go talk to fucking Zykey Poo. Damn.
Ooh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office.
Yes, it appears so.
Brr, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deadly atmosphere.
Oh, is that? I'd have to figure it was so still. I didn't notice his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? Ah! It's weird to see him outside the courtroom. He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe he's more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person by the wall being... Is the person over by the wall being punished or something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice. He's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. Must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. He's very able in combat. A requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported on the papers? The Reaper. I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. Lord Strongheart said the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack? True. Carried out by a henchman of Odi Asmin's criminal organization. Investigation meant our arrests were imminent. Presumably, some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odi Asmin. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers. A global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhanded means, via his criminal activities.
He used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance at the end. Yesterday, in fact. In extraordinary circumstances. It was a most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was the super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asmund died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. This man really is the favorite Reaper, and he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least.
It's strange how this all, fucking shit. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Bruno? I mean, with you taking on the professor's defense of the trial tomorrow.
What? You're going to be defending him? Oh, yes, that's right. Well, I barely know the man's name, to be honest. Albert Harebrained. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
What?
Oh, shit. So he's his friend. Interesting. I'd understood that Professor Harebrained was from Germany, though. Harebrained's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's all. So you were students together? I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along. Though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you of all people representing him. Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound as if you and Professor had been friends. We are friends, it's true. Why would you do this?
If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed.
What's Lord Van Zykes thinking? Well, considering we've had a consistent way of getting a non-guilty verdict, and not only that, proving who the actual perpetrator was, it's actually kind of interesting. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking that we could help him, and then they as him as a prosecutor and as us a defense attorney, we'd be able to figure out who the real culprit is, or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm hearing fucking. I can't tell if that's thundering or if that's like fireworks. Cause it's almost 4th of July. It's pretty cool. What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean? I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people who prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all.
Nor was Jenny. In fact, she's ever so hard-working now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taking a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way.
But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believed it's true.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Well, it would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say? I mean to say, if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor. I swear to fuck, I keep hearing explosions in the background. It's scaring me. Someone's popping off fucking fireworks out there, Matt. Matt, someone's throwing fireworks out there. Get him. Sick him, boy. Well, I want to look out my window real quick. Never mind. I can't do anything.
Did I jump scare you? Yeah, I bet I did.
Tell Mom. Oh, I'm sure she fucking hears it. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Thanks. Lord Van Sykes, about the article in his paper. Ah, yes, it seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me.
It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had just run away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? He's my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Bruno.
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord...
Did I jump scare you? Yeah, I bet I did.
On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. Why would you agree to take shot? Ah!
Yeah, I bet I did.
Well, why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. Jeez, he's fucking creepy. Holy shit. Ah! The task is complete? Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. Nice to meet you? Do you want to guess that this guy is the Reaper? The apprentice has been, well, maybe, I don't know. Ooh, pretty kitty. Pretty kitty. Where's the fireworks sound redeem? That's non-existent. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. Never met the man before. Didn't even know he existed, and yet somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Hmm? Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to... The way he stood there was so casually, yet that flawless posture. It couldn't be. Where is it going with this? You know... Are you not American? No, I'm a lesbian. Anyways. Yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man, is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with the stoop, and the mustache, and the jitter. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Bruno.
He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion here, don't you? There's little time left for tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice, and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Soseki-san, after a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that, or worried.
I never imagined that Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books.
A mad scientist? Oh, you mean Professor Hairbrain? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zykes, I think. Alright, now get out of my office. He's like, get out! Oh, there he is. The warden said it's cell 11. That's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Mr. Hairbrain? Who are you? I'm Naruhodo. Wait, what are you? God damn it. Fucking read the thing. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer.
A lawyer?
Ah! Is this something I said?
A lawyer, you say?
Would you be here
About the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis?
your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't...
Yesterday's demonstration!
That magnificent demonstration was...
It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one else listens. No lawyer believes in science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity.
probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while too. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Ah! Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success.
You lost.
I saw it with my own eyes, right in front of me, and Mr. Asman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis.
However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asman in fact perished?
Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure.
So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asman was an accident, correct?
Well, the bigwigs said the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for the man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But murder? Not in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident.
I see.
Harley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly?
Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds?
Yes. Newly established here in Britain. Fucking shit, keep hearing a special suspension of Scientific Equipment Act.
That one passed by me.
But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine. But they'll say my machine was the murder. And they'll be able to pour all over it.
What? They'll be able to pour over it as much as they like.
If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen.
I don't know if is hypothesis the right word? I don't think hypothesis is the right word. I think theory is more of the word. Because I'm pretty sure hypothesis is like an idea without evidence, and a theory is an idea with evidence. Like, not irrefutable evidence, but there is some detail to it. So, would it just be your precious... Whatever. Who fucking cares? Oh, Bob!
The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative that this whole incident is to be shown as an accident in tomorrow's trial.
Oh, I see now. So why is it being said as a murder? That I don't really understand. So, in short, there's a terrible accident at the Great Britain exhibition showground yesterday.
Yes, or rather no, the devil in the details. But strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion.
That's the same to me.
You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, by a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my amazing hypothesis.
Okay, so should you be risking someone's life over an hypothesis? I don't know about that one. Because from the sound of the shit, you haven't dug too deep into it. You just kind of made the machine, hoping it would work. In which case, why didn't you try it on, you know, a rat or something? Like, why'd you have to... Gosh, that's an unimaginably high-level science.
Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such incredible technology. Just think, one moment it could be here in this cell, and the next, I could be at the great exhibition again.
Search blurb for a firework ear. I almost said the full fucking word. That would have been boom.
You already know.
Oh, are you sure?
None of these. You're a firework. Okay. Fantastic. I'm not looking through that shit because it looks like it looks like it was about to play the fucking Katy Perry song. And you're a firework. About that. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in a mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Parisian Theater, I say. The possibilities are endless. The hull of our vast planet would be within reach. So, no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days?
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? It would feel like it had shrunk. My word, that's exactly right. What are the implications? What does this mean? Oops. I got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the look of it.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. I mean, probably, I don't know. I mean, while teleportation would be a lot more convenient and, I don't know, maybe safer. I don't even know if it'd be safer, because you're kind of breaking down your thing. It was the first one that showed up, though. Yeah, but it wasn't, like, uber loud. That's literally not what you were asking for. You were asking for one that would just, like, destroy my eardrums. It wasn't that. If you like fireworks so much, why don't you go buy them and just fucking light them up in your phone and then record it and then just send it to me? Burn your phone off your hand.
The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's That's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstration costs a lot of money, money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says government should invest more into science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Aston.
The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident. I understand Lord Van Zykes is a friend of yours from your university days?
Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. I was a part of the science team.
What was he like back then?
Good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-around nice fellow, really.
Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Barrick von Zykes. What was he like when he was at the university?
Talk about a leading question, Murno. As I said, unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zykes family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood.
Little darling?
It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and I learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less.
Yes, that's right.
I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation.
Really? What sort of event?
Ah! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already.
Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zykes will be prosecuted at court tomorrow. The full name of the person who died yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Hasman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man?
He first visited me at my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars.
I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then.
Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel.
Oh, really?
An archangel. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for a presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. But then, your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking a man's life.
Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. So, Professor, let me just be absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday. That was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct?
As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Yes, it's true that the man perished by machine, in a machine of my invention. So I know I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I'm a man of silence, that's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Sure. Do you think that's Cosmo?
How about no?
Okay, fine, jeez. Alright, I guess not. Fuck. Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. My hypothesis, you fed bitch. But I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live here, graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. I thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
All right, Bruno. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose that's true. I'm gonna investigate it last. Ugh, why does it happen? It must feel awful. As well as a man losing his life, the Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. I know what happened. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now. I felt myself swooning 3 times.
There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times too.
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made through the throngs though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. What's that? I hear voices from up the stage. Sounds like an argument. Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you. I'll arrest you in a minute.
Oh yeah? Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it.
Wait, I know those voices?
You've got a cheeky mouth on you, young lady, but a night in the cells will teach you some manners.
Yes, Troy, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. Yoo-hoo! Greggsy! What are you doing up there?
Ah! Ah! Hey, it's you! Here, you here, here you are. Your ladyship. How are you, your ladyship? I hope you're well, your ladyship.
Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. I'm far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable. I'll go have word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. I'm surprised he's still around. I thought, considering the shit he pulled last time, that he wouldn't, you know, have a job. Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so he's been suspended for a while now. They put him on suspension. I'm surprised they didn't give him a boot, considering he almost had an innocent girl fucking put to death. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. There should be. Watch it, sunshine! Sorry. What gives, then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
Yeah, me. That's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling?
At least they find Bob. Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Naruto.
What? Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is.
You can have it back, or I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob.
This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket, or a diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court.
What's your problem, eh, Odo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's all with this name calling? You want a bag of chips ran down your throat and all, do ya?
I thought you were a proud diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? Assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
That ain't the way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now. I'm learning to be a Scotland Yard detective.
Well, that's a fucking giant leap. What the hell? You went from thief and diver to being a Scotland Yard detective? Shit. All right. I mean that's good for you, but I thought you were just like working on the fairgrounds or something.
So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. The inspector, it's Inspector Lestrade now.
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right then. I'll be back atop. You hold the fort down here, all right?
Right, sir.
This raises a lot of questions.
Hello. Remember me? We played Fortnite the other day. It was pretty funny.
It was 8 months ago that I first encountered Gina, in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing. Then she got embroiled in a murder.
I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. Shut the fuck up, I'm trying to concentrate on my voice. The diving weren't working out.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done.
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective?
You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh?
Talk about a sea change.
And then there's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised you, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull all the stops looking for him.
Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Jenny, you're so swift. Now anyway, that's how I've been. That's how come I had to go in and test this for Scotland Yard. And the trouble is, I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem, nothing serious.
And that's when Hurley approached Gracie and asked for help. So the inspector said, we take full responsibility for Ginny and made her a sort of apprentice.
That's a very That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson. And brave.
Well, you know, Hurley, he enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
A great detective likes digging for dirt. In other words.
So, the long and short of it is, if you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Oh, what, Bruno, what?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was a defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is, still.
Oh, come on. You're not still on about that, are you? The legendary great of the Rita, whatever it's called. Cool. Yeah, have to worry, I know.
If I didn't have to worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot you could let. Stop fucking words.
It's like I said before, I told you before, innit? A Reaper's crawling like I'm him upstairs. So who knows what I'm like in the inside?
That ain't really...
Whatever, just fucking stop. Nothing wrong might be a stretching point. Might be stretching the point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought.
Exactly. Why are you worried? I'm totally fine. Cool. This war will be worse. The brandy bloke pulled a bunch of levers in his machine and suddenly he started blowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experience here yet.
Sorry?
You mean you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes?
Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smoothly, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's gonna take some getting used to. Oh, I see. Oh, right, because he got demoted from being a detective to an inspector, which... maybe, I don't know what the difference is.
So all I have to say is I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Get this! I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above.
Oh, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too.
Yeah, do it! You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Horace? You will have no problem.
Then it's settled. When do I start?
No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris.
We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand... what I don't understand is, if the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success?
Oh, right. Well, It was a success, in a way.
It was? How could it been?
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go get me a fucking snack.
My voice is dying. I'm gonna go make me a sandwich real quick. Maybe it'll help me staying alive. Alright, I'm back. Just eat before stream. I did. We had fucking pizza earlier. I'm doing this to help me stay awake. I mean, I'm doing okay to stay awake, but the yawning is really annoying. And I was attacked by a little kitty. Yeah, I was attacked by the little kitty. So I'll make me some sandwiches, some tuna fish. Well, I talked to my mom about the P. Diddy case. That was fun. The P. Diddler case. Alright. Back to the game. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth, anyway, investigating is sort of off the cards for all of us. Talk to Mom about what? I talked to her about the P. Diddy case. How he got acquitted, which is fan-fucking-tastic. Made everyone fucking happy about that. Still nothing. And not the cat door? Oh. Oh. Honestly, bro. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll go fucking ask her right now. Alright. Alright, I'm back. Talk to her, and the answer is no. That's not happening. Because you would have to replace the door. We'd have to get a whole new door with a cat thing in it. So, there you go. Now that'll get you to shut up about it.
Yes, naughty old Gregson ran off after that without explaining himself.
You didn't put any effort into selling it to her? Matt, explain to me how would I be able to get a cat door without having to replace the entire door itself? Because apparently, I literally said, couldn't we just like cut out like a piece and then add like a little flapper? She said no. That's not how it works. Of course, she didn't elaborate on that, but it's no. And also, first of all, I'm not the one who pitched this idea, you did. So if anything, you should put more effort into selling it to her, because this was your idea. I said that it wouldn't work because of those exact reasons, that we'd have to buy another door. But you were like, so fuck you, Matt. I don't remember this being my idea. This was your. What do you mean? Because you got the fucking. You got that gold. You got that snack. The snack that smells bad goldfish fucking mindset, bro. You don't remember shit. I'm sure it's in the VODs or something. You turn up your voice a little. Am I too quiet? Am I too quiet? Hold on. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Damn, I am a little bit quiet. What I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know how I would be able to increase my microphone. Like, I'm hearing it through my phone and I can sit closer to the mic.
Is this close enough?
Like, bro, it's like right up on my mouth. You know what? Okay. I'll have to use this mic. Remind me. I'll have to buy a USB port because I do have like a working like a little stand microphone. But the last time I used that, it made my voice all staticky and shit. And I'm thinking the reason why I did that is because the little thing that I used to plug it in was like damaged or is damaged. So I'm thinking maybe that's why it doesn't work, but fuck. I have no idea. Get your sugar daddy juice to buy you a new one. To be honest, what I'm talking about is literally from him. It literally, this is literally the one he sent me. So it's funny that you say that. Holy fuck, I choked on my sandwich. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna test something real quick, so hold on. Things are gonna be silent for a bit. I love the gameplay music though. Do I sound any louder? Is this a little better? I don't know if this is better or not. Does it sound bad? Does it sound better? Does it sound worse? Does it, like, not the same? Make some feedback here, chat. Same? Okay, well. What did you just say to me? Did you just round for me?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, genuinely, I have no idea. I honestly don't know how I could make my voice any louder. This is about as loud as it can go, my friend. Loud. Loady-goody. Loady-goody-goody-goody-goody. Maybe there's like an app or something. I remember having an app that does stuff. I don't know. I honestly don't fucking know. The best I can do, honestly, is to just turn the game down like a smidge. That way, my voice will be louder. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to work on it or whatever. Let me go see if Kitty wants to go.
The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine who blew up yesterday.
Well, that's not fair. I represented the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations?
Nah, you don't get it. We ain't allowed to investigate either.
Why?
What the boss called again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from him lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit?
So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate? Yes, I've never heard something like that before.
I thought I could have a gander in the quiet though. But the boss caught me at it. Fucking can't speak. He probably heard him giving me an earful about it just from down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair.
I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what makes him so stubborn. You say something to him, Aldo. Go on, say it again.
He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machines that exploded is.
We can try, can't we, Murdo? Greggsy will listen to us. piece of leaf covered. Oh, look! What's this? A ripped piece of cloth.
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable.
It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well.
Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it. Well, Ginny Mignon. With Ginny Mignon. Ginny Mignon. Ah, it looks as though someone dropped something behind the trees just here.
Dropped or hid? What is this? Some part of a machine that exploded?
Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps.
What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. I'll hang on to this just in case. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. It's almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes. If you look closely, there are some scattered ash and burnt embers, too.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above. People probably wouldn't bat an eye on a small fire like this would be happening.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno. Here's your rubber.
It looks like the layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Mashom's methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really, really didn't want to get wet. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. What is this? This looks like a crossbow. Ah, there's some sort of lever here. It literally is a crossbow. What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. Whoa. Could it be a crossbow? I think it's probably used for the same thing too. It looks like you can wind this back in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and more powerful than a Japanese longbow. Ugh, I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds. And Irish just doesn't have a single word to say. You got nothing in there, girl? Alright. Alright. There's a groove here. Must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right. It's sort of a bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches this ear with the bowstring two times out of 3. In fact, if I'd had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Cosma in cute archery training. Where'd it go?
We're good for this, Otto.
Cool. Oh. Wow. The Crystal Tower. It certainly has. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan.
There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower.
Apparently, everyone's taken to the skies now to look down on the disaster area above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up on the balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people. I'm sure not. I ain't waiting 3 fucking hours for that shit. You kidding me? Can't make me. Alright. I was just making sure that I don't know if this is any louder or not. It probably isn't, but just wanted to make sure if this changed anything. I don't think it did. Funny.
That's where the Corv ended up after his instant kinesis or whatever you call it. Dead, of course.
And yet they're calling the experiment a success?
What's with that root wooden scaffold there for?
Hey, compos, our lads, shut that up after the incident happened. To get the booty down, I think. Don't know, really.
Didn't you help to erect the scaffold? Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then?
Look out there, it's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mine Gregson doesn't hear you say that or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged the gap by some sort of visible kinesis?
then she looked at me and said, "Let there be cake." Like, what the fuck?
The stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Oh. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up.
Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. And I've seen my fair share.
You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course! Hardly's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
That might explain the scent of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs.
One time, he made something that exploded with such force, it took the roof off the building. Wish you'd seen it. Wish you'd been there, Runo, to see it, Runo.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be in deep thought about something, while eyeing up the machine carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
If it ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently and mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed, not blasted. That's the point.
Yes, that's the part's crucial. That part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Runo, I'm just a child. How should I know?
A child when it suits you, you mean?
From what I can tell, if you were to
Stop! Don't touch that!
That was practically instantaneous. Kinesis, the way you flew over here now, Gracie. If I were to pull this lever here...
Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch everything up here.
So sorry. You're gonna have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
Wonderful. Well, this stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch up anything yet. It's that blasted special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driven me potty. Oh yes, the special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Eh?
Surely that's all right, isn't it, Gregson?
Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please, don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Runo?
Who knows that I get what she wants? Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam him across the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True. It was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. My government's doing anything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the old sport of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. So, the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on the scientists' rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
They're making it so that any theories the brains have remained their legal property, as it were. Right through developing into the practical idea and even going into production. Which is an infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new high-factual special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. I can barely fucking say these words. Oh, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are some brand new department of the Yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. And just because it says scientific equipment on the paper, we can't do a flamming thing with it!
Poor Brexy. He's very head up, isn't he?
It's crazy, I know. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene on here? Are you having me, Sunshine? It's the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. The SDSEA. STIA.
Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently. With a real twinkle in his eye, as I remember.
I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of us are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers, if you like yourself. Thanks for that.
Oh, I love how absurd some of the adventures here are. It's all so fun.
It might be fun for you, but for a member of the force who has to be present at every demonstration, can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say.
Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there's a point. There is a point, sadly. Sorry. Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas, if any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientist gets funding? Exactly. And that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers has to! There you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science! Hang it!
Oh, maybe I can see your point.
They're all a bunch of money grubbers.
Apparently, Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany, now conducting his research. That's right. Come back to Britain especially to the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research routes. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. Turns out he was at the university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zykes.
Eh? What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zykes mans the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is
Sealed. Because the Reaper will get him one way or another.
blimey. That man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zykes this morning paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh, yes, but Mr. Reaper's completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, Reaper, huh? How long is that business gonna keep up, I wonder?
The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Asmund, he was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard.
Lord Barrick Van Zykes is a top-class prosecutor. But even he can't always push the right verdict, though. Sometimes justice can't win.
Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper the Bailey came about, isn't it?
Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zykes initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Well, the man himself denies the charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zykes is in no way related to the events of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would.
But if that's true, how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't have just coincidentally died if no one killed them.
I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? It's the whole point of the Reaper.
Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at the university, Lord Van Zykes was a totally different person, easygoing and kind.
You what?
He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what that was?
No clue.
Really?
Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh?
Considering how badly everything is, Professor Harebrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should take a good look around the machine while we can, I think.
Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear?
I won't touch a thing, I promise, so please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims?
He asked, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could find the answer to that question. But we can't we?
Because of that annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly! Annoying, obstructive, flaming rules.
Oh, look at the base of the machine here.
Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think.
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of the capital letter A.
Is it? Oh, yeah, you're right.
What is the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung out myself, I said.
Yes, I understand. Sorry. I only touched a teeny weeny bit.
But Gregsy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really very, very curious.
Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like that. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
But Runo found it first.
I assure you all I've investigated thoroughly. He's gone off with it.
That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in the next month's installment now.
Poor Gregsy. Right. Are you done here, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot are here now.
That lot?
The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute, too. The FIT. Fit. We are fit. We are fit as fuck.
Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up.
Ah, that hit the spot. Yep, hits it every time. Well, at least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. It looks like this is as far as we're gonna get with our investigation here, at least.
I've been thinking. Harley might know something, mightn't he?
About what?
About Mr. Reaper.
About what happened to Lord Van Zykes, you mean? It sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from the university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he?
Here, this is what you need.
What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Two Spells? Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You don't know it? What the fuck? What are you doing with your life, mister? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. Would you like to go now? We could go now if you like.
No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
That's where Hurley is.
What? At this popular London attraction?
Yes.
How is it that you know where he is?
Hurley told me. But he told me to keep it a secret from you, Bruno.
Madame Tussauds? I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here. But then, stranger things have happened. And when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. He's at the heart of them. Alright, now get the fuck out of here. Meow. Fuck out of the way. That is a smelly beach. No! She's going to kill her! Ah! What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. Why are these people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. You know what I'll be dreaming about tonight?
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic. What do you think, Bruno? Shocked?
Wax models? Ah! I read about dead bodies and wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax. Apparently, it's called a derby! A dipicurry? A dipicurry? Is it the... Am I saying... I'm obviously not saying that right. How do you fucking say that? Oh, sweet.
Adipocere.
What?
Adipocere.
Adipocere?
Adipocere.
Okay, well, first of all, it doesn't help that a fucking robot is telling me how to fucking say it.
Adipocere.
Adipocere. Thank you. I had to go on fucking Webster to understand that. Because a stupid fucking robot. First of all, this isn't even how you say it. What?
Adipocere.
Adipocere. Adipocere?
Adipocere.
Adipocere. Okay, there you go. Adipocere. Honestly, bro, I've never heard of adipocere. I've heard of taxidermy, but that's a little different. Anyways.
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Runo. You're scaring me. Anyways, adipocere doesn't form readily, you know. So that... You know, it's only in very specific... Ah! What now?
I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. You really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh.
There's no way anybody can make models of these people that are as realistic as that are this realistic. Okay, first of all, why is Ohms fucking posed like that over there? What are you doing, bro? What are you thinking? What do you think you're doing? And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait.
What is it?
Oh. No. I must be seeing things. No! Why is there just a hand sticking out? Is this some infamous murderer?
Yes, called Jane the Ripper. All her victims were young women.
Really? Jane the Ripper? Was there a female version of Jack the Ripper? Is Jane the Ripper the oh, let me look this up. Jane the first thing I got was Jane the fucking the Virgin. No? Nah. Jane the Ripper is not a real thing. Okay. I was like, I have never heard of a Jane the Ripper. But no, that is literally just this game's version. I knew it. You could tell by the way she's holding the knife. Sure sign of a murderer.
Well, yes.
Ah!
What's the matter, Runo?
I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore.
Not according to the information on the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub.
Really?
Sorry. I don't think it's significant.
I still think it has to be there for a reason. What did you just post in chat?
Hello.
What the fuck? Why did you send me this? Adipocere, aka Corpse Wax? Ask a Mortician?
Hello, guys.
No, you didn't hear that. Hello, guys. I'm saving that one for later. Not the video you sent me, obviously, because I don't fucking give a shit. Alright. Listen to this hand real quick. What is this hand? Is this an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwood work models have fallen over.
You don't think it could be the work of one of those mass murderers in here, do you?
Runo, stop scaring me!
Is it a wax arm or a real one?
Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection! I don't know, what does it say on the podium? That big heavy curtain is in a very prominent position, isn't it? I've got a nasty feeling that something's gonna be truly terrifying behind it.
Oh yes, that's the famous Tool Spills special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killer. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look?
Pay more money? To be even more terrified? Ooh, let me think about that for a moment.
It was only a suggestion. Jeez, you didn't have to be so uppity about it.
Okay. Now this must be Jack the Ripper. Is this an example of Western Sujigiri?
I don't know what that is.
You know, when an unscrumptious samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword.
I still don't know, no. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model for it, do you think, Runo? Doing the Sujiri thing you mentioned.
Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. Well, that doesn't paranoid me. It's the great detective, Mr. Airlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really?
Well, he is world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know. But look, Runo, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle.
What the fuck did you do? You can't go kicking the exhibit, Iris. Wait. He's just groaning in the back. It just moved, I'm sure. This kid is fucking killing me. I'm sure it just moved, I'm sure. And not just a little bit either.
Hmm? Really?
I look closely. There are beads of sweat on his face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
Hold it!
My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner. As if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from indulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kink! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me!
But Runa has something he needs to ask you.
Ah, a question.
And I thought you'd probably be getting bored. So, here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes of being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all my excess has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed. In many ways, the pair of you just saved the world of a fucking something. In many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
You could know something that's true about Lord Van Zykes and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? Let me go get some water real quick. I'm a little thirsty. I'm gonna make you... Alright, I'm back. What is this place? Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. She opened this little waxwork museum last year. It's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. Alright, we're good. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? Oh, shut up. The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Ugh, it sounds so grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expression of the faces of the condemned.
Apparently, the sculptors really would make the models directly from the corpses. Right there at the site of the executions.
That really turns my stomach. It really grinds my gears. That's just one of several legends about the Tuspels family. Whether there's any truth in it, or I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area in my museum, popular area of the museum, by quite some margins, is this House of Horrors. House of... Horror? No! Of course! Visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome works. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. They even suffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public lived for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So, the hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
That's crazy. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being waxwork, is he? What do you mean by temporary waxwork, Mr. Shams? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare them. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them to shake my hand to shake. For $1, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Chums? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! You really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the ravenous Iris to consider.
Oh, Harley, I'm so hungry.
Wait a... Yeah? If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you get to pick the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Humph. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. I'm back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? Well, what is it you'd like to ask me? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zykes. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Shums in about everything I learned. About Lord Van Zykes, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been in university together. So, I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zykes such a different person.
I was sure you'd know, Harley.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot, and that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we reached oh, son of a bitch. Who the fuck just interrupted me? Well, it seems we've reached an unavoidable... Greetings. Oh! Hello? Where did she appear from? She's kinda hot. Damn. What is she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? Oh! Oh! Holy shit! I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry? Have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again.
My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tupels. Two spells. That is the name of my museum of waxwork.
What? You're the Madame Two Spells?
Bien sûr. Though only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I am a madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
Right. I was running the money to give her a French accent. What?
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Sholmes then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there you will be toil and trouble.
She sounds deadly serious.
That's a problem. Is she threatening to dump fucking molten lava on him? Damn. Scary. I'm supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zyke's Thou.
Let's not forget about what Hurley said before. About something being afoot right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but...
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
Oh, we got enough on our plate already. Oh, damn. Oh. Holy shit. She's fucking hot. Look at her. Damn. I'm by the bust. I'm fucking gooning, dude. I gotta calm down. Alright, no more gooning. We're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. Alright. Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspels?
I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know.
Gosh.
It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were cherished.
Sherry? Is it? I said cherish, but it looks like a sherry. Checkered?
Checker.
Checker?
Checker.
Her fortunes were shackled, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired the severe savoir-faire that leads the astonishing life-likeness.
All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more than alive than Hurley.
What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal pasts. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following the executions, that is the secret of the extraordinary life-likeness.
It sounds terrifying.
All the works of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
Do not fear.
Sorry?
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight here, come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have aged you into things.
What's the situation with that?
Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal?
My dear madam, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. Or words of that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree on two terms.
Let me guess. Someone wanted wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services? For a mere 500 pounds, I will dive into your cauldron and whap of wax at this very moment. 500 is quite a bit at this time, I'm assuming. How much is 100 pounds now? $683. Huh. So, considering this is like 17th century London, that's like Uber money, I'm assuming. Unless inflation just doesn't exist in London. I don't know.
Or words to that effect.
So Shelmus might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So, we came to the current arrangement instead.
Surely he doesn't need to do what he's doing, though, does he?
I would think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning.
Or words to that effect.
That's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have done something to redeem.
Is the consulting detective work not going so well? I wonder, could I ask you something?
Bien sûr.
I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps?
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh! He disappeared.
A wax model is a work of art,
not some tawdry object for trade. Ah! There you are!
Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down?
My dear Madame Twospell, save your reprimand. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Whoever not?
She turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though, please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind that curtain?
That is the Twospell special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer, then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
Absolutely none.
Can't fucking say that word.
There is nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madam. What about that? What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain?
Oh!
I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only as you come.
I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The To Spell special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however, is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. Well, then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that the sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit.
Why would you say that?
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
Oh!
She looks as pale as candle wax.
I don't understand.
So, Madame to Spells, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helplessly from your bag. In my estimation, some £200.
That is all my own money.
So, what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, but not as much as an involuntary glance as you cast, it would seem, Madame to Spells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes fall now. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale. Your business has had hard time, it seems. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of £200.
No!
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman, stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Fortunately, madam, unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man in such dockings the blow? Of course, the £200. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger more effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to the purchase of the waxwork for the sum of £200. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extraordinary amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And as a result, the scene we see before us, he collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. Okay. The question that arises then is, what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly...
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing about over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only to observe his neckerchief. Such as worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades. Accolades? Whatever. At last year's policing awards.
But...
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with this particular unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were waxwork.
Ah! But... you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, Madeline. I noticed it once before. I noticed it at once. Of course, observe! A telltale sign that proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Threepence. A tragically low price, you might say. Though, perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame?
I do not...
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. She's getting the bucket. I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley, you have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. The notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to deduction, then, the special exhibit featuring this old policeman. So, what would mean that he's the particular ruthless... That would mean he's the particular ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? the killer policeman, Ottermole. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name Ottermole.
So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed. It is a particular grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things into perspective. So, it's quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. The bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call your assistance here, Iris. If that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the Great Detective's great deductions.
Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we?
Before Madame Two-Spells vents her anger.
Just what I was waiting for, my dear fellow. So, Madame Two-Spells, in accordance with our agreement, you shall have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so hopefully in your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That is all my own money. So, what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as an involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Two-Spells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance is the public notice. She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
That much money I would, but it sounds like that makes me a bad person. I don't think it makes you a bad person. I think it makes you a sellout, but you know, it's fine. Whatever. Well, anyway. I wonder if 200 pounds could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else we could explain. That could explain. What's that note doing pinned on the wall in there?
Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madame Two-Spells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for a safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October.
What?
This is... It's just like some sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly!
Take that!
Yeah. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so. And we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting a waxwork.
Oh!
200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow, of course, was the 200 pounds. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We could just ask him when he comes around.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's the matter with you smells kind of high? Let's have a look around. Uh-huh. What you got there?
This is just Madame Tussauds' right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand, after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This left hand is... This is a left hand as well. Look!
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please!
And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean... it's made of wax? No!
Take that!
What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed. With a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be your right hand, but on close inspection, reveals that it is in fact a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model. It's fucking hot, bro. What the hell? She got me all riled up. Oh, damn! Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So, you mean that arm? Yes. This gentleman saw fit to try and remove it as a souvenir. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch off of a cherry tree when you get a view of the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later. But for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. The question that arises, then, is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? You find the answer. We need only observe his neckerchief. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief. Okay, how do you fucking say that? I feel like I'm not saying that right, and I'm afraid I'm gonna get in trouble. Because it's getting close to a whole other word, and I don't like it.
Neckerchief.
Neckerchief. Oh, that's not any better, is it? Oh boy. Okay. The yellow is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
And Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away. Cancelled. No! Fuck!
Well, uncovered secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspel's reaction to Mr. Holmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Ah. What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Ah, well, that settles that then.
Right. This isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been? Of course, that ties what we just found.
Take that!
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we only need to observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks the earth. Of that I can assure you. Hey man, people can have missing limbs. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 police awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally! What other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we should turn our attention to the old man set before him, with the particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching him closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man was waxwork is obviously price tag. The killer policeman called Ottermore, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what it looks like. It's a very low price, though. Threepence isn't much money. Only enough for a few measly hours of gas and Mr. Garrett's delightful lodgings, in fact.
Threepence.
Threepence? That's how you say it? How much is it worth? Never mind, I'm not reading all those words. Too many words! Too many words! No. So, this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit. Is it? A waxwork that someone stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. It's this crusty old killer policeman, Ottermole. Really?
Perhaps we should have a look around again and see if another idea pops up.
I don't believe it. It's a secret sign.
It's a secret sign that other detectives know some criminal activity is underway.
Yes. It's a slightly strange choice of outfit if he's trying to go unnoticed.
Ah, he must be a detective disguised as a policeman.
Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman.
It doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though.
Perhaps you should try and be a little more polite about him, Iris.
Take that!
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious Twitch. Twitch.tv. Even the most realistic of waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, the splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Two Spells?
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. Here he is. He is clearly fatigued. He sounds asleep. You sound asleep.
But then, what's the tag about showing the price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently on the local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, a secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because as you know, there has been just such a criminal activity here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective.
So, it would seem that we finally arrived at the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard is already investigating. But the mortal's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. We've did it. Elementary, my dear hobo.
All sorts of women visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in for just a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway.
your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. Fine, do a twirl again. Let me see it. See that ass? It was a pleasure, my dear madam. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. Yes, tragically it was. Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please. Very well. But after I told you what I know, I must insist that you return to work. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Come here! Come here! Ugh. Fucking hell, my hand fucking hurts, dude. Alright, everybody. That's gonna be it for now. I'm gonna have to call it. I'm fucking tired, dude. Holy shit. Thank you guys so much for coming by. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, or I guess today, later today, whatever. It's gonna be the 4th of July. I don't know if I'll be streaming or not. Since, you know, 4th of July. We'll see. If I will, I'll be doing this. If not, on... What is it? Saturday? Yeah. On Saturday, we'll do more of this. Either way, we'll do more of this. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Love you all very much. You guys have a good rest of your night. Let me see if someone's... No? Alright. Good night, everybody!